Last time we had different shops and stuff going on, I think. Forget how to, yep, like that. Cool. Good enough. So for this is, oh, it's just a preview cache again. Happens every single time I try to run this. But, we had experience and stuff going on, but we have no enemies to actually try it on. So we just had buttons set up to test it. I think I'm gonna set up animations though for our guy, because he doesn't even look around or anything. And I have the animations over here, but let's see. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Oh, it's also the wrong thing. There we go. Too much shit open. So for the player, we have movement. We don't have an animator though. And for the weapons, we don't have melee weapons, which is what the animations are like melee swings, so we'd have to do that. Weapon item, and then we just implement use. Yeah, so let's try to do that. Let's try to figure this out. Let's do animator anim, and we'll do directions, I think. Did I have directions on the other one? I think I had this already set up in the other one, so let me just reference that code real quick. Just have it open at least. So I had action player. I just had the animator, and yep, I had a direction. Oh, am I still on? Yeah, I'm still on. Different keyboard settings. So for this one, we have animations that face down, right, up, and left. So we're just gonna do 0 is down, 1 equals right, 2 equals up. Let's do sideways. So if we're facing to the left, we're just going to flip the sprite renderer. So we'll just do that instead of making a whole nother animation state. So I'm going to just grab the references in here real quick. Get animator and get the sprite renderer. And we're gonna say, I had movement, I think, in here. Yeah, okay, here. Oh, let me rename this a little bit. Look direction, because I made a variable called direction for the rotation already of the oh yeah, I commented that out though, so it's fine. So I'm gonna do do this one first. Just do this. If input dot y is less than 0, look direction equals 0. Else if input dot x is greater than 0, direction equals 1, else if y is greater than 0, direction equals 2. I'll say if x is less than 0, then when dot flip x equals true, else you don't flip it. That's all we need. We just need to say in the animator what to do. So I'll just say nm.set integer, call it direction, and I'll set it to look direction. And yeah, let's do that. And then I'm just going to make a new function. That's just going to play an animation. Whoops. It's going to look weird with the mix of the items, which are guns, and the actual animation, which is a sword, but it's fine. I'm just showing different mechanics here. I'm not making the perfect game for this one. So we're gonna attack, and then we're gonna reset it after like a second. And I'll just do void reset attack. Okay, hopefully that works. We gotta do a lot of actual setup to see if it actually works now. So I'm gonna go to the player. I'm gonna animation tab. I'm gonna create an animator for it. Action player. So we have all these different animations. We have a moving animation now, don't we, too? So I can just do moving also. Dot set bool. There we go. So we have a walk down. Just drag it on the player. Action, move down. I should have to do this for all of them. Just make some room real quick. So sidewalk. Action sidewalk. And walk. I think what action player just has by itself. Is that just this? It's not animation, it's just the regular sprite, huh? Yeah, it's just that, okay. So if we play it, it's not gonna show anything. Yeah. So you have those three. We need attack animations now. action attack up. Action attack down. And action attack side. And then just an idle, I think. Just do down. So I'm gonna just set the idle to be the default state. We're gonna ignore the action player one for now, which is just the sprite by itself. I'm gonna slow down the animations too. That's fine. So we need to make our parameters. Need to make an int called direction. To make a moving bool and oh shit, not a trigger. And an attacking bool. So, moving down, side walk, up walk, attack up, attack down, and attack side. Keep it like this for now. So we're gonna switch to that one, that one, that one. So we're going to be moving up when our direction is equal to 2. I think 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2, yep, cool. We're going to be moving to the right when our direction is equal to 1. I set it to be equal to, or wait a minute. If input.x is greater than 0, or input.x is less than 0. Yeah, this would be better. It wouldn't move to the left otherwise. It wouldn't animate when we move to the left if we don't do that. Or statement. Else, if we go to 0, we're moving down. And for these, we can just say attacking is true. Move out when attacking is false. Actually, we'll just transition out by default. So attacking is true. Also, we have to set moving. Yeah, right. Moving is true. Moving is true. And moving is true. Take another minute or so to do this. And these need to switch between each other. And it looks very confusing. And they need to switch to this one if they're not moving at all. You can also set idle up, down, left, or right animations, but I'm just going to leave it at idle down, I think, for now. So I need to just set all these different ones now. So, let's see. If we're walking up and we stop, then we're going to switch to the down animation. Same thing for if we're moving down when we stop. Did I set it to false? Yeah, I did. moving is false, we're just going to play the arrow animation. And then if we're moving up and we switch to down, then we're going to swap to the down animation. And the reverse is also true. And the same is true if we move sideways. Direction equals 2, and moving is true. Oh, direction is 1, sorry. Wrong transition. Now if direction is 2 and moving is true, should cover most of them, I think. Just double checking. Think it should work. Let's see what breaks now. Moving down. Oh, it's not checking moving. So moving is not being checked for some reason. Did I name it wrong? Set rule moving to moving. I never set moving in here. Dang it. Moving equals input.x is not equal to 0 or input.y is not equal to 0. Either one of these is true, then we're going to be moving. If they're both false, then we're not moving. Oh yeah, we flip because we let go of the button and then yeah, that's gonna be weird. Weird. Okay, let's try this instead then. So I'm gonna flip the sprite back again when we press right or D. Right, make it look a little better. Looks pretty decent. Though you defaulted looking down, but I don't want to set up all the different cases for that one. We would have an extra one here and here and here. That's fine. So we can move. Now we need to do attack. So I'm gonna just make another script for an item. I'm just gonna make a sword weapon now. And we need one more thing for the sword, I think. I think I'm gonna default the empty slot to being the sword, so we can always attack. Hopefully that just works immediately. We'll see. So for sword, for shotgun we have to just override. Yeah, we just override use. So inherit from item, weapon. We'll do public override void use. Do we call base use? No. Oh, we do. Does base use say now? Same as item. It just says cooldown. Cool. So base use, and we'll say Do we have a reference to the player in the item? We do. We're supposed to. It's an action controller, but I never get that reference. Weird. Autocorrect did not work in my favor this time. So sword is just going to say player dot swing attack. Because our swing attack already says play the animation for attacking and to stop attacking after that. Every time I think this is an I suffix is confused with digit. What are you talking about? Oh, okay, don't know how that showed up. Come on. Why can't I click? Here we go. So then let's check out the weapons. Let's pretend like we just have this. Yeah, so we just have. Let's detach this. I'm gonna just name this sword. I'm gonna attach the sword script to it. It's common. It's not gonna be anywhere in the shops or anything, so this is fine. Do I have a sword sprite actually? I technically do. Cool. Cooldown is going to be like 0.8 seconds. I don't know yet. I don't need a projectile. Attack is going to be like 2 maybe. What happened on this one? We activate the object. Weird, don't know why there's a random. Oh, because the fucking sword is the gun. Duh. So when we buy it, we enable it. So I just need to do this then. Cool. I'm gonna add. It's gonna add empty object to it. So this one is gonna be the sword. Not that it matters. Don't want to confuse it later. So, let's do this instead. Okay, I'm just gonna add this to the player to make it easier to work with. Melee hitbox. We just have to move it around the player when he does different animations, which is going to be interesting. There's 2 ways to do that. We can do it with code, or we can do it with the actual animation. I might just do it with the actual animation instead of hard coding it in. I think we have a melee object somewhere in the platform, maybe? Melee collider, if it hits. Yes. Yeah, so I'll just copy these over into their own script. Action melee hitbox. Like float attack. Yeah. And if we hit an enemy, I'm gonna comment this out for now because we don't have an enemy script yet, so it's not gonna work either way. Yeah. I might want to have like a cooldown on this so it can't hit the enemy like 10 times per attack. It's fine. I'll enable. I named it attacking instead. Also, a lot of small mistakes because I'm trying to do like a bunch of things at the same time. Yeah, attacking. On enable must call in it. Weird. Okay, I'm gonna ignore that. Actually, I probably want to also. Where's my grid? There we go. I want to have a background just so I can. Yeah, except for I don't want the colliders. Move the colliders. Probably just gonna. Draw in here real quick. It's fine. Probably fine. So there's some kind of background on it. It's kind of boring without it. Another hitbox. We're gonna just do collider, box, trigger. I'm gonna add the action melee hitbox controller to it. It's gonna do like 2 attack maybe. I don't know. I don't really want to pass the damage from sword into there. Should be fine. I can also remove this. So that should be hopefully good enough. I'm just gonna save these as prefabs so I don't lose them. Yeah, just so I don't lose those later somehow. And I don't know what I'm even testing. Yeah, I need to set the default as the sword now. All those disappeared. Jesus. Interesting. I wonder why it's not saving any of my settings on this guy. Oh, it's on the weapons. That's why. Duh. Sword, first item. Oh, because I'm. There we go. Might just be easier just to make the sideways animation so I don't have to worry about attacking straight down. Why does it think I'm moving? Oh, because it transitions out either way. Oops. There we go. So I can attack, and I can go sideways. So sideways attacking works, but yeah, I'll just do the idle sideways ones just so I can actually attack while moving and not worry about that stuff. Action player, sideways idle. Doesn't matter which direction I'm facing because it'll just flip either way. So I'm just gonna grab a single sprite, drag it in there. Up idle. Sideways idle and up. Okay, so it's gonna be a little more confusing now. Gotta add all these different things too. So if attacking is true and we're facing down, we're just gonna play attack down. Moving is false. There we go to one of those. I'm gonna set all these up. Direction equals 0. It's not gonna work perfectly because I'm not gonna do all these different swaps, but be good enough. So if we're walking up and we stop, then play this one. It's gonna be a whole mess now. So I can do move down if direction is 0 and moving is true. And sideways walk if direction is 1 and moving is true. So either way, you're gonna have to move up before you do the up idle. This one's like the only case that's not true because you start in down. Yeah, that should be fine then. And then when you're doing sideways idle, you're gonna want to do this one. If direction is 1 and moving is false, I want to switch this back also. If we're moving up, our direction is, oh, not Japanese, get out of here. If we're moving sideways, then walk sideways. If we're gonna walk up, we need direction to be 1 and moving to be true. And if we're moving down, we want direction to be 0 and moving to be true. That might be good. And we can just transition to the, oh shit, wrong ones. To the up attack, the side attack. We already have the down attack. So I'll just check if the direction is 2 and attacking is true. And if the direction is 1 and attacking is true. And then we'll transition out if direction is 2 and attacking, and moving is false. And this one we'll do if direction is 2 and moving is true. So if direction is 1, moving is false, and direction is 1, and moving is true. Maybe that'll work better now. So saying still, we can move left. Oh. These transitions need to be fixed too then. Okay, this one's already fixed. This one just wasn't. Weird. Let's see if it works now. Yep, so you can walk sideways. Oh, except sideways to up does not want to go. Wait a minute. Might be the problem. Oh. I can attack for a second for some reason. Oh, and if you're moving, okay, yeah, you can still do that. So for this one, okay, I don't fix it for any of them. Cool. So it's possible that when we're moving, when we're attacking, we can move directions. Yeah, these trees can be a whole fucking mess after you add some animations. So I'll do transition from each attack to each, oh shit, don't create a state, to each movement. So if we're attacking for directions 1 and moving is true, if our direction is 1 and moving is false, well, I guess if we're moving, then it doesn't really matter because we'll transition into them anyway. So we need to worry about the movement once more than anything else. Upwalk is going to happen if direction is 2, moving is true. Up idle is going to happen if direction's 2 and moving is false. Didn't even start the enemies yet. This is a whole thing in itself. Attack side is going to go to move down if direction is 0 and moving is true. It's going to go to down if direction is 0 and moving is false. This is the last bit that we need to do. Upwalk if direction is 2, moving is true. And idle directions 2, moving is false. And now we just need the up attack to switch. Hopefully. Direction is 1, moving is false. Direction is 1, moving is true. 2 more. Move down if direction 0, moving is true. And the last one if we're not moving. Hopefully this works now completely. Oh, I can attack up for a second. Yeah, so we face the right direction if we get out of the animation too. The only thing is the left and right things. Play right. Okay. The only problem now is getting the hitbox to work. So, let's see. Let's go to attack down. I'm just going to click this box, and I'm going to drag the melee hitbox below. I'm just going to make it a little bit wider. Make it like 0.5. 1.25. Hopefully that's fine. And then for attack side, let's do that. Just rotate it so it works better. Shit, actually, because left might be messed up too. If we flip it, does it flip too? It does not. Guess we gotta copy this line of code then. I had it for the hitbox and the platformer. I forgot how to do this last time, so that might be a problem. Renderer, parent renderer. Yeah. Let's see if this works after this. So you set the up attack. So up attack is just going to be up with 0 rotation. I'm just going to flip the rotation on the down attack now again. Cool. So let me debug this. Hopefully we'll see it. Okay, it moves, which I guess is fine. That's weird. Okay, that works though. The directions. I might just have to set up a whole other thing for the left side. That's not good. Let's try this instead. This will be a cheap little fix. Public game object melee object. Let's see. I'm just gonna say melee object dot transform local position equals with 0 we're gonna do 0, -1, 0. And this one's going to be, oh, what the, I did all of them. 0, 1, 0. And this one's going to be 1. But I'm also going to make a left side 2. -1. I was going to set its rotation. This will work. This is fine. So 1, 1, 1. We're going to do wider on the X. For these two, I'm going to do 125F. Weird. So hopefully that works now. I can take these out of the animations, though, in this case. It would be easy if we just had the left animation. I could just do it the way I did before, but position and rotation will take off. Oh, I never set the thing, huh? Melee object. So we can see it down here. Only problem with this case is we move, yeah, and it kind of animates up into whatever. It's the only problem here, but it's not too worrying because animation is short anyway. Only problem now is that the box is enabled all the time, and we want it to only be enabled during the animation. So we'll just do this. We'll just check the box after doing this. Shit. Keep forgetting about that. And now we have to set it to be disabled in all the other animations. If I can just paste it in there. Nope, can't just paste it in. Is there a button for this or no? Nope, there's no button. So I can't do hotkeys on that. So that should be enough, hopefully. Let me select the player. Yep, so it's enabled and then it disables. I'm going to fix the animation real quick too for up and down. Because the transition is not quite right. So to switch out of it. Moving. Weird. I think it's just too long of an animation. For up and down, it's like a fraction of a second longer. Oh well. Variable parent renderer of Hitbox. We don't need that anymore. We don't need that anymore. It's fine. So theoretically, if we have an enemy, we can damage it now. I'm going to try to set that up in the next 20 minutes, and then we can set up the actual enemy stuff next time. So I'm going to show a new thing here, which is interfaces. So let's do that real quick. Enemy controller. Let's call it action enemy controller. Let's see. I have stuff over here for that. Yep, easy enough, cool. And then I'm gonna make a folder for them. So I showed inheritance a little before. Interfaces work in a similar way. You can set up different functions in there. Like everything that inherits from this interface will have this function, this sort of functionality to it. Like I'm gonna make an interface for iDamageable, and that way I can add it to all of the enemies and I can damage them easily. You can set up interfaces for, like, we could modify the player to have to inherit from that interface too, so you wouldn't have to make a public void damage every time, like, you know how we how for the hitbox we grab the component and then do damage specifically every time. We could grab a generic type and say damage this thing instead of having to find the exact, like, reference and stuff like that. If that makes sense. It'll make more sense when I actually show it, but let me make an interface first. I don't know why I named the folder, but ignore that. I was trying to explain something during that. Interfaces. So I'm gonna make an interface called iDamageable. And it's gonna look very simple. So for an interface, you just need to declare it as a public interface, and you don't inherit from mono behavior. Shit, if I can delete that. And I'm gonna give it a type of just T, so we can it's a generic type, so it can be a float or an int or anything else we want. So I'm just gonna name a function called void damage, and I'm gonna pass in T amount. Oh, shit. There we go. And then in the enemy, we're just gonna go inherit from mono behavior and from iDamageable. This is one of the ways that interfaces are better than just making a bunch of like a base class, because, like, we have an item class here and we have a weapon class that inherits from it, and we have different classes like sword and shotgun that inherit from weapon. So you have stuff all the way down till item. So you have all this stuff saved. The problem with that is you can't inherit from multiple classes in Unity, as far as I know. I think there's ways to get around stuff like that. But we can't say inherit from item and like a mono behavior, because it gives me an error. Yeah. Well, that says because there's multiple classes, but it's fine. But you can inherit from multiple interfaces. So you can have commonality between different scripts from an interface, whereas this base class might be too specific. Like, I would have a damageable and like a killable, but I wouldn't want to have like all of this stuff in there. I might want to have like one function called use or something, or die or damage. So that's why interfaces are also useful. They're useful in ways that a bunch of classes inheriting from each other can be, but it's yeah, it gets kind of confusing later on if you do a bunch of them back to back. So I'm going to inherit from iDamageable interface, and I'm just going to pass in a float, I think. Let me double check. Yeah, just float. And it gives me an error because we have to actually make that function. Damageable float is not in his, yeah, void damage. Maybe because it's not public yet. Void void damage. Yep, there we go. Just pass in an amount, I think. I'm just double checking everything on the other one. Yeah. So I can just say HP minus equal. Oh. Didn't even have HP in the first place, that's why. Public float max HP. Float HP. HP minus equals amount. If health is less than or equal to 0, die. Probably gonna make an iDamageable or an iKillable interface too. But for now, I'll leave it at that. And I'm also gonna go to the player controller. I'm gonna inherit from iDamageable too. Another float, because I think that's what we have. Our health is a float. So we already have, I don't know where damage is. I think it's called take damage in this one. I just passed it. Yep, take damage. So I'm just going to rename take damage to just damage. Then this one is hit a button and we're going to damage. Yeah. So I push L, we damage. I'm going to go into the game controller. I'm going to test this. Let me remember how to do this. There we go. The finding them all is a little more complicated, but that's fine. If you have to find all of the things that inherit from the interface, then it's a little, the syntax looks a little weird, but so I'm going to say if application.isEditor, if input.getKeyDown, I'll do V or something, I don't know. And I'm going to do find objects of type, model behavior dot of type. What do I have to inherit to get that? System.link, of course. God damn it. There we go. So of type iDamageable, I'm going to pass in a float. I'm talking about dot of type open. There we go. Cool. I'm going to say for each iDamageable float, D in objects, D dot damage. Make a random float. Semicolon. There we go. So when I push V, I'm going to find everything that has that inherits from this interface, and I'm going to do a loop, and then I'm going to damage them all. So this should automatically work for the player since he already inherits from that interface now. It also works for all the enemies that we have. So V, I hit B on accident. Yeah, so V, so I'm damaging myself. And if I die, I die. Yep. And if I make, I'm just gonna make a script for now. Probably animate it next time. Oh. I meant to write slime, but I was thinking sprite. So we have our slime buddy. I'm gonna just give it the enemy tag right now. I'm gonna add a collider to it so we can actually test our melee weapon stuff. Hopefully right now. I'll make it a little smaller on it. I think when it looks up, it's probably gonna be the right size, but it's fine. Add the enemy controller to it. The action enemy controller. 50 or something. Let me just debug this so we can actually tell what's going on. We got log HP plus max HP. I'll just say 0 out of 10 HP or something. I'll do on enable actually. So on enable, I'm just gonna set HP max HP. So we have 50 max HP. When I hit V, it should get damaged. 45, 40, 35, 30. Oh, down to 0. Did I tell it to die when it hit 0? No, it's just at negative 72, so we can't see it. Yeah, so let me go into the melee attack, hitbox. And instead of this, we're just gonna do, let's see. We'll do var ob equals collision dot get component my damageable float ob dot damage from attack. I'm going to do that last line because that's for projectiles instead. I'll do one more thing in here so we're not damaging him too much. Public void attack iframes maybe? No, maybe I'll just do iframes for the enemy instead. Yeah. That'll be fine. Yeah. So I'm gonna go to the enemy, I'm gonna make like float iframe time equals 0.2f or something. Float iframes. Let's say if iframes is greater than 0. Decrement iframes. I'm gonna say if iframes is less than or equal to 0. Then we're gonna take damage. Also, iframes equals iframe time. Yeah. And I should still print it because we have it in the, oh shit. Good job. So face to the right, attack. If we update this to like 0.5 seconds, it might be better. Yeah, 0.5 is better because then we don't do a bunch of hits in a row on him. If we do V also, it doesn't, we can't spam V because, yeah, because he has iframes still. So yeah, that works. So next time I'll probably have him left, right, up and down movement. Maybe if I'm feeling fancy, I might do the pathfinding stuff for it. I'll just use the same tutorial that I did on mine. I'll just drag in the asset and then I'll show how to use the asset. I'm gonna comment this part out right now. I'm also gonna make a real quick iKillable interface, just so we can call iDamageable and iKillable. And iKillable is just gonna say like interface. Thank you. I always fucking mess up my typing. Yeah, Pulic. Cool. Public void die. I typo a lot during these. It's not my fault. Public void die. I did it in here. Oh, just void die. And none of that. Also semicolon. There we go. And then for the enemy, I'll just say public void die. Oh. Game object dot set active. This would go a lot smoother if I didn't typo every 2 seconds, but it's fine. So if our health is less than 0, then we die. And the player already has a die function. Yeah, so I just need to make a public. iKillable. There we go. And it's as easy as just, if I want to test it, I can just do this. I can copy paste. I can do X for like destroy. And then I'll grab all the iKillables. I'll do iKillable dot kill. Sorry, dot die. If I push X, everything should die on the that has that. If I can make the NPC have that too, and then I can just push it and kill it. So push it, they die. Yep. Okay, now I'm really at the last second, so that's all I'm gonna do for now. I'll hang around for a minute or two if anybody has any questions or comments.